Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. This is going to be part 5 of my Maize Plus tutorial series. If this is what you're looking for, please stay tuned. Alright folks, welcome back to part 5 of my Maize Plus tutorial series. Today we're going to cover how to make grass, or how to collect grass and hay in Maize Plus. So let's address a few things first. We're going to talk about everything and get it all over with, but first we need to address a couple of things. I also want to mention I am on Charwell Farm right now on the farming agency edition of that map. So everything I tested is specific to this map in a way. It should work on all Maize Plus maps, but again, there could be some variations and stuff like that between Maize Plus maps. But in general, this is how everything should work out. So in base game without Maize Plus, in order to get grass, you need to mow it, then collect it. And then in order to get hay, you need to mow it, ted it, and then collect it. One thing, when I'm talking about collecting something, I am talking about either picking it up with a forage harvester, picking it up with a loading wagon, or baling it. So those are just what I mean by collecting. That's just getting it off of the field and moving it somewhere else, collecting it. So yeah, that's how you make grass and hay in base game. So in Maize Plus, it gets a little bit more complicated. So in Maize Plus, and again, this is not field grass either, might I note that. This is just regular grass in Maize Plus. This isn't field grass. We're going to cover field grass and other types of grasses in future Maize Plus tutorials in this series. But we're going to talk about just regular old plain grass in this video here. So I have a grass field in front of us here. We're going to go ahead and look at it here in just a second and do some stuff with it to demonstrate a few things. In order to get hay, it's a much more convoluted process, if you will. So we're going to talk about a few things. So if I mow this grass, if I mow it, I'm going to get wet grass. That's going to be the fill type on the ground. It's going to be wet grass. Now, what I can do with wet grass, I can either bale it, and then I'll get a grass bale from the wet grass, or I can pick it up with a forage harvester using a pickup header, which, if you don't know what that is this guy right here, one of these easy collect type deals here. These are the pickup headers. Or if I mow it with a forage harvester header here, I will get grass. So if I pick it up with these, I will get grass. If I mow it with a forage harvester, I will get grass, not wet grass. But if I just mow it with a regular mower, I will get wet grass, and I can bale that up into a grass bale, or I can pick it up and get wet grass using a loading wagon. So that's what happens if you mow it. Now, if I wanted to get grass, or if I ted it one stage, I guess I should say, if I ted it one stage, if I ted wet grass one stage on the ground, so I do one round with a tedder, which is found in the store under tedders. Any one of these guys here normally used in base game to dry stuff out for hay. Now in base game, all it takes is one pass with a tedder and you have hay. This one, if I have wet grass on the ground, one pass with a tedder is going to take it up to grass. And once it's in the form of grass, I can put it in a bunker silo now. I couldn't do that with the wet grass. I now can still bale it into grass bales, and if I use a forage chopper to pick it up, I'm going to get grass using a forage harvester to pick it up. So just to kind of make you aware of that. Now, if I ted it again, I do a second tedding on it, I'm going to get semi-dry grass. That's going to be the next fill type I'm going to get, is semi-dry grass. And I can take semi-dry grass and I can put it into a bunker silo. Or if I bale semi-dry grass, I'm just going to get regular grass bales. Or if I pick it up using a forage harvester with the pickup header, I'm going to get semi-dry grass. Now, if I want to do that again, I want to ted it again. If I do a third tedding, I'm going to get hay, or dry grass. So we're going to refer to that as hay. I can no longer put it in a bunker silo. If I bale it, I will get a hay bale. If I pick it up using a forage harvester, I'm going to get grass, not hay. So just be aware of that if I use one of those pickup headers. If I pick it up with a loading wagon, I'm going to get hay as well. So it's going to be hay at that point. Now, we'll talk about a few aspects of that. So here I just have a regular mower here. And if we go in the store under mowers, let's go over to, here we are, mowers. I'm using this guy right here. Now, we're going to talk about the mower conditioners and what that means in a little bit. So just hang out for that. Now, if I go up here, this is a grass field. If I lower this down, hit B to turn it on, you can see that fill type down there at the bottom. That is wet grass. That is the fill type I'm going to get. All right, perfect. So I'm going to get wet grass. If I mow just with a mower, it is what it is. That's what I'm going to get. That's kind of what we already discussed. So there's our wet grass. Now, if I hop out of this mower and I hop in this guy right here, which is also a mower, but this guy, if we go into mowers here, mower conditioner, what does that mean? What that means is essentially when you mow it, you're going to skip one of the teddings. So if I mow grass, instead of getting wet grass, I'm going to get regular grass that's going to come out instead of wet grass. if I use the mower conditioner versions of these. Now, I do have the one I'm using right now is actually not the mower conditioner. You can see right here down there, I don't own a mower conditioner. I own one of these. So what I noticed with testing, at least on this map, is if there was a mower conditioner version of it, such as with these two here, so this one and this one, I tested this guy at least, and I was able to get just regular grass. So even though this one doesn't technically run as a mower conditioner, all of these guys will run as mower conditioners if that's how they're supposed to be designed to be run. So that's kind of what I've noticed, and I'll show you that here in a second. So if I come down here now, and I can go ahead and hit B to turn this guy on, and you can see I'm now getting grass as the fill type out the back. So let me just pull just a little bit further forward here. Raise everything up, turn it off. So right here, this fill type is grass. This is grass right here. So now if I keep going, let me go ahead and just put in a little bit more on the ground here. Just give us a little bit more space to work with. If I do this real quick, get this guy out of the way. Now if I grab a tedder, what's going to happen if I go over this? This is going to turn into semi-dry grass, and if I go over this with the tedder, it's going to turn into, well, it's going to turn into grass. So we'll see that here in just a second. Let me back this guy out of the way. Let me disconnect this, and then, oh, it's going to make me fold it up there. That's okay, you work on that. So I'm going to go now, I'm just going to buy a tedder. We'll just buy the big one. It just makes sense. It'll just make it a little bit easier for us. So if I purchase that, wait for that to disconnect there. Just go pick it up. It's over here. I'm using the store delivery mod just to save me some time. So now if I actually go over those and TED those, you're going to see what's going to happen here in a second. So let's get this, let's grab this. It's just going to move them all up one stage. And then there's another part of this that I want to explain as well that makes it a little bit more complicated. So let's get this opened up, not by much. It actually, I think, is a more of a beneficial thing. So I'm actually just going to go right down the middle, so you're going to see these both change. Or at least they should both change. They may not based on what I know, but we'll see here. Yep, there you go. You can see them both changing to the next state there. So let's stop for a second and take a look at what we've gotten out here. So now what we have here is we have grass. Our wet grass went to grass, and our grass went to semi-dry grass. So that's semi-dry grass. Now, if we notice here, if I just back up, now, I did mention you can TED this again, right? So let's go ahead and just hit B to turn it on again. Well, it's not. Oh, it actually is advancing it. Of course it is. Oh, goodness. Of course it's doing that. Let's see here a second. I think it's because I hopped out of the tractor. Yeah, I think that reset it for me. Maybe. What you're supposed to have, or what is supposed to be a script in this, is what's called the tedder script. So what that means is, in order to get the next stage going, or start the next stage on there, you have to at least disconnect this, rehook it up, and then you should be able to go. So we'll see if that actually reset it and is going to allow me to get actually hay off of this, since it kind of allowed some of it to move forward. And there we go. Now we're getting hay off of it. So yeah, that was interesting. So I guess it works sometimes, maybe-ish. So there you go. I might have confused it with having the multiple fill types, but there you go. Now that we've tedded it for a third time, we now have hay, or tedded it for a second time using a mower conditioner, we now have hay. And again, you can pick that up to get hay, straw, or excuse me, hay off of that, hay bales, hay loose, anything like that. So there you go. So again, that just to kind of boil it down, it just adds a little bit, of work for you. It just adds a couple extra fill types and adds a little bit of work. So in base game, there's just grass and there's hay. In this, you have wet grass, grass, semi-dry grass, and hay or dry grass. So again, it just adds a few extra steps in there for you. But that is everything I have for you guys today. So hopefully this made sense, and hopefully it helped you out a little bit. So again, going from, I don't even think we have any wet grass left over here. I think we got it all. Yeah, I think we did. So going from wet grass to semi-dry grass, you can see here, and then to hay. So again, just adds a few fill types. But there you go. If you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel, and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any future videos I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and watching.